We all know this ship, mostly due to its famous photo. But today, we're going into a alternate history. What if this ship did not meet its fate that very night, the very day, I mean? What if it never got to be where it was? How would fate be different for the Princess May? Today, we're gonna find out how her fate would have been different. And see how the ship was in her days. In 1910, the ship had narrowly avoided running aground on the Senator Island, an island by Alaska. The ship would be brought back to port, though in 1911 she would be converted to run on oil boilers. That same year, after her conversion to oil in 1911, she would go out to sea once more. However, fate might be planned for her later on. In 1919, the ship was sold off to the owner she had up until then. She was, of course, going to continue on her voyage. However, in the 1930s, she was starting to show her age. At least had been showing her age. Instead, the following fates may happen. She may end up getting scuttled, or she may end up becoming scrap, like that of the Olympic in Mauritania. However, fate would play out much differently with the ship. In 1939, the ship would end up accidentally running aground. An attempt was made to try and get the ships unstuck. Unfortunately, something else get in the way of this attempt. Between September 7th, 1940 and May 11th, 1941, Germany and Italy would do a bombing campaign known as the Blitz on Britain. I'm sorry to say, during this war, the Princess May was not spared. She has sustained severe damage caused during this said war. This bombing campaign, done by the Axis, by Germany and Italy, of course, would destroy various parts of the ship, including the boiler room. Unfortunately, her engine room also took a hit, destroying a massive chunk of her engine. Her wreckage would sit like this up until the end of the war. In 1948, the ship was brought back to service. Ever since it was bombed by the Germans in Italy during World War II. It took a good while for the vessel to be brought back into service. A total of 3 years to repair her. The ship repairs were done as part. The reason why repairs were taking this long to do was due to the recovery of Germany. Not just parts. Not Germany, I mean, but the parts of Britain. The ship, however, was, despite looking good as new, would unfortunately meet her end in the 50s. In 1954, the worst had just came on in. Part of the ship broke. Had one boilers unfortunately had a sprung leak. As a result of that, unfortunately caused for a fire to spread. Despite all attempts to save the ship, the fire was spreading. And I'm sorry to say, the worst would happen. While the fire was still going, it had gotten to the accommodations. The back superstructure having since gone, but unfortunately underwater, the worst is happening. The ship soon began to lift starboard. And rescue, so to say, would be not on its way at the time of where it was at. The only ship that was around, unfortunately, in a dry dock, where it had been damaged due to hitting rocks a few days before the events. The Princess May did hear that rescue was on its way, but I'm sorry to say the rescue would not arrive in time. The ship was sinking. Water, now gushing in, had begun to flood the back of her. Power was going out, and there was nothing they could do. The ship was going to die. The ship begun to take her final breaths as smoke and fire billow out from any nooks and crannies it could. Her funnel finally falls for a final time. And soon she slips under the waves. Seen the night and for a final time. The wreck of the Princess May would be discovered years later on in 2002. The ship itself, however, left a mark on its time in history. While in our world, she was scuttled in the 1930s. In this world, she's sunk due to fire in 1954. I do hope you enjoyed this alternate scenario of the ship. I hope you have a good day or night, depending on your time zone. See you later. Bye.